welcome to A Year in Marvel.
Part 2.
We're not going to do another Year in Marvel.
I'm sure we're going to keep doing years in Marvel.
Or maybe we do.
Don't be silly. You are in a weird spot with Marvel at the moment. You're going to be D-hard for Marvel sooner rather than later.
You can say dick hard. This is definitely an adult podcast. I say fuck maybe every fucking 3 seconds.
Woo!
Welcome back to A Year in Marvel. My name is Antonio Alcazar.
And I'm Tick.
And this is going to be a little quicker of an episode. This is just going to be a little Marvel catch up because we missed a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do an episode for every movie.
Yes.
We can start fresh.
Right.
And we got She-Hulk coming up. I don't know if we're going to do that episode by episode, but
No, we're definitely not doing She-Hulk episode by episode.
That's a lot.
9 fucking episodes.
Yeah,
You know what I thought, man? You know what I'm okay with? If it's 9 30-minute episodes.
Okay.
Or like 35 minutes.
Did you watch The Bear?
What is that?
It's a show on Hulu about a guy who's a cook. But it's a really good show.
Okay.
Definitely recommend it.
Okay.
But it's a dude who inherits his brother's restaurant, and it's kind of like a failing business, and he's like a world star chef. But that's 30-minute episodes, but it's prestige television.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever watched a 30-minute prestige show, but it feels really weird.
Have you watched Homecoming on Amazon?
No.
Oh, man, you should. It's fucking phenomenal.
They're quick.
It's 3 seasons.
Feels weird, though, how quick it is. Just like, wait a second, give me more.
It's
More of this.
themed Hitchcockian.
Okay.
So it's 30 minutes and like ridiculous stop. You're like, how can you stop there?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so it is one of the best.
What if at 30 minutes they're just like, oh, you're going to binge this in one day, my guy. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Did you watch The Boys?
Season 1
You haven't watched season 2 or 3?
or 3.
Oh, interesting.
I'll get to it. There's a lot of shit to watch, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm too busy watching Psycho Goreman and other things like that on Shudder. I got Shudder recently.
Yeah.
It was like $34 for a year.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like,
That's
cool.
definitely
Let me
worth it.
turn it on.
Yeah.
I've watched like 12 movies already.
Sure.
So I've had it for a month and I've watched like 12 fucking movies, dude. So like, I'm like, I feel like I already got my money's worth.
Sure.
Because I'm already at like $3 a movie, not even.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, yeah, I feel pretty
Dude,
good.
at some point it's going to be like, this movie cost me 12 cents.
Right. Exactly. And there has been some absolute gems that I've enjoyed the fuck out of. Psycho Goreman is the most recent one. Yeah. It's basically a movie about an alien who landed on our planet and like kills the fuck out of people, and he's real, and like he wakens up because somebody fucks with his like gem or whatever, and he kills these 3 dudes like very violently, and it turns out this like little girl that's like 6 and her brother are the ones who had the gem, and they figure out how to and there's a whole like scene of like he's like they're like, what is your name? And he's like, oh, I am known as the Curse of Nightmares, the Archduke of Destruction, that's too long. Let's figure out a name for him.
Is it a comedy?
It's a comedy, of course.
All
And they're like, all right, let's call him like Psycho, whatever. And there's like a montage scene eventually where he's like, because they can force him to do anything with this gem. So he's like playing baseball with them. And he's like, got like these spikes everywhere.
This is very wild.
I laugh.
Is it like a B movie?
Dude, you know how I feel about laughing, right?
You don't like to do it.
When I'm by myself.
You think that laughing by yourself is a
psychotic.
A sign of it. Yeah, a sign of it.
Psychotic. I was laughing so hard. Someone in my house was like, "Dude, are you all right?" Like because like the montage was so ridiculous.
You know, I'll be honest. If I'm in my house and I'm silent,
yes,
people will come up to me and be like, "Hey, is there something wrong?"
Oh wow.
Like
so you're the exact opposite.
I'm usually laughing or sobbing very loudly.
You might want to see a doctor, dude.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Listen,
sobbing very
I definitely
loud.
need therapy, but yeah, you know, like if I'm watching a sad show, bro, I'm sobbing. I'm sobbing.
Oh, that's too funny, man. I make fun of people who cry. Like, it's very hard for me to get in that headspace. Like, we recently watched Stranger Things, the new season of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
No.
Okay.
I know all about it though.
Yeah, I forgot.
You're not gonna
one of the scenes, and it's very sweet with the kids.
Is it the one where spoilers, when the kid dies? The rocker kid?
I don't remember. But I remember my old lady crying.
Yeah.
And she was like, shut up, because she knew I was about to make fun of her. Because she does that all the time. She cries.
Yeah.
She feels. Game of Thrones.
Sure.
You know, Catelyn's telling the story of Jon, know, and how she couldn't ever love him and this and that, blah, blah,
She's
blah.
crying.
And I'm like, I look over her and she's like, stop stop it.
Yeah.
Don't.
Well, why
I'm
don't
like,
you?
I
Why
didn't
don't
say
you?
anything.
Why don't you cry?
I didn't say anything.
Why don't you cry?
I didn't say anything because it's very hard for me to get in that headspace where
Yeah.
I'm going to get emotional to the fact that the point of where I'm crying.
I feel like
at a television show.
it's very hard for me not to be in that headspace.
Why?
I don't know. I just like I
just get wrapped up in
it's
it?
bubbling up all the time. Like it's almost like I want a reason to cry, and as soon as anything even slightly cathartic happens, instant cry.
That's weird, man. Because you know what's funny is like you would think that I'm like some kind of psycho who doesn't like I watch these things and I'm detached from them, but that's actually not true at all. And like when things happen, like. But it's like the emotion of like excitement or something like that gets me, and like I get into that a lot.
Yeah.
But the opposite side doesn't really affect me that much. But I don't really cry in general in normal life, so maybe that's all. In Sarah's the exact opposite.
I guess. I mean, I don't cry in normal life.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I mean,
If someone came to you and go, "Hey, you're fired from your job," you wouldn't start crying right away.
No. In fact, the last time I was fired from my job, I was like, I'm actually really glad for this. I'm really happy. When I used to work for T-Mobile.
Yeah.
And I remember that's the only job I've ever been let go from.
Sure.
But when I got let go that day, I was like, and the guy was trying to be really amicable. You know, he's just like, hey, listen, man, because of blah blah blah. And I'm like, listen, dude, I literally said to him, listen, dude, we both know what's going on. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with this.
Yeah,
And I gave him my key, and he's just like, hey, man, if you ever wanted professional references, I'm just like, dope, thanks. I appreciate that. You want your card back? I'm out of here.
We're good. Yeah. That's cool, man. That's cool. Well,
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is like I don't generally cry.
Yeah.
But catharsis through media gets me to cry.
Interesting.
Fucking fast, bro.
Wow.
It doesn't need to take much.
Have you ever cried at a Marvel thing?
Sure, yeah.
Wow.
Dude, you didn't cry when Tony Stark died? Get fucked.
Yeah, that's the only scene I can
Okay,
possibly
but what I'm
think
saying
of,
is
man.
like Marvel things have sad stuff all the time.
Wait a second. So, like, here's the thing, right? I definitely had that emotion when Tony died because it's like my favorite character in the thing, and it's a very like touching scene.
Sure.
And it wasn't so
It was
much
the end of a 10-year
Let me tell you
run.
something. It wasn't him dying. It was Pepper saying to him, "We'll be okay."
Yeah.
And
the
then
little girl with the
even
burgers.
think about it now, like, but that's because I'm a dad with young children, and so like I know that position right there because you're the protector of these children.
That's called catharsis.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't have it more often.
No, but I mean, like, usually no. And like the only other times I've had like even tears is like when I love something so much. So like the Avengers Assemble scene, same movie, did that to me, but it was tears of joy, not tears
You're
of
just
like
so happy to be
right,
watching
exactly.
it.
I was like, this is the most mind blowing thing I've ever seen in a theater.
The first time I ever like really cried in a movie was watching The Last Samurai, when at the end of the movie they kill themselves essentially. I was bawling. I was bawling.
In the theater?
No.
Oh,
this was years after.
Thank God.
No,
thank
in the
God.
theater, I was like 14 maybe. I did not give a shit.
Yeah.
But like in my early 20s, I went back and watched this movie, and like the idea of modernity destroying tradition, like I was sobbing. And I remember my cousin, who at the time was very young, was just like, are you okay?
Yeah, that's
and
funny.
I'm just like, this just means so much to me right now.
I mean, like, you know, out with the old, in with the new. But like, I'm trying to think of the only other movie I can think of besides Avengers Endgame that made me like break down a little bit is when I sat one time and watched all 3 of the extended versions of Lord of the Rings at once.
Yeah.
So I'm on like hour 14 or whatever.
And then Aragorn says, "No, you kneel for no one," and it like that line right there, "You kneel for no one," and then everybody kneels.
Yeah,
like that destroys.
That's
me
inspiring.
every time.
That's beautiful to me.
It's
That's
just
not.
they earned it, you know. Like
Yes.
they really earned that.
That's not it for me though.
Yeah.
It for me was not like Gandalf's like, I'm ready to go to the Grey Havens, and he's like ready to go off, and he's like, Frodo, and then you realize, oh shit, Frodo's going with him too.
Yeah.
And that
because he has to say
crushing
goodbye to Sam. Yeah.
and you're just like, no,
that's great.
That's not fair. Sam was his dedicated friend. You know,
That's so
so
funny.
that's like the only other thing I can think of that like, and that in that same like series, I definitely got a little emotional at Boromir's speech to, you know, when he's dying to Aragorn. I would have followed you.
Sure.
You know, and that whole thing is definitely pretty powerful as well. And then, you know, is there anything else?
Huh? It's interesting.
Yeah, but that's
And
like my
pretty much
favorite
anything
movie
that-
of all time.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like, yeah, it's,
you have to really be into it.
Yeah,
If I'm washing the dishes and putting something on in the background, I'll start crying.
Judge Judy or some shit like that. She yelled at him. She yelled at him too much.
That's funny.
That's too good.
Okay, so we're gonna start with.
We're going to start with
Hollow
the
Knight.
first thing that came after the last thing we podcast about, and that would be Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. I called him Hollow Knight.
Going into Moon Knight, how into Moon Knight were you?
I didn't know anything about Moon Knight.
Right.
I didn't know anything about Moon Knight.
That's because you're a normal person.
Yeah, he looked like a Batman guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
In every picture I had ever seen, he was like stalking the gargoyles at night type
Yeah.
shit, like hanging off of it.
Yeah.
Like he had a very like Batman kind of aura.
He felt like a DC character to me, more so than a Marvel character.
He definitely did. I had zero fucking clue what was happening.
So were you excited for this show? Because it has Oscar
looked
Isaac?
great. It looked great, and it had Oscar Isaac. So I was like, yeah, that looks fucking dope.
So we start watching through the show, and how do you feel about the show overall? Like,
Overall, I watched episode 1, and I was just like, oh yeah, this is gonna be some good shit. And every episode after that was worse.
wow.
Yeah, for me, it was like a big fucking blowout explosion. Like this is a tone change. This is gonna be dark, and this is gonna be rough, And I feel like it was like a 10, and then like an 8, and then like a 7, and then like a 4, and then like a 3, and then like the very last episode where like the
You're like,
big
let's just get
spirits
this
are
over with.
where like the spirits are fighting in the background, and the hippopotamus woman's like giving the other lady powers and like speaking through the whatever. Like at that point, I was like, this show really, really fell off the rails. Like became one of the silliest things I think I've ever watched.
Wow.
It's just I think it's the tone. They didn't have a consistent tone. If you're gonna do me a serious movie, I'm down. I'm into a serious movie. If you're gonna give me silly fun, I'm down for that too. But it was like the tonal shift from the silly to the serious to the silly to the serious. I was like, there was one moment where like super horrible graphic shit was happening, and in the background, a giant skeleton bird was fighting a giant alligator, and I was like, what is happening? You pick one of the two things and run with it. But that was my experience of it.
Wow, interesting. I'm the exact opposite.
I
went into Moon Knight going, fuck, I don't want to watch this show.
Yeah.
Like, god damn it, another Marvel show.
Sure. Is always that's always your thing.
I know.
You
And I'm like,
always hate it so much until you
I
watch
love
it.
Oscar Isaac,
Yeah.
so let me just do this. And I've actually started to really, really enjoy his counterpart in that movie, that show. What was it? Oh, fuck, what is his name?
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke is a pretty cool
Ethan
actor.
Hawke over the last few years has become amazing as an actor for me, and in one of my top 10. So I was like, all right, let's fucking do this. First episode, I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
like what's going on here.
Okay.
Love Egypt.
Yeah.
Love everything that's going on at this
Sure,
point.
yeah.
I'm like, when are the vampires going to get? Because I know a little bit about Moon Knight. I'm like, are the vampires going to be involved in this and shit like that? I don't like that idea, but okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
And it just kind of went, and from there, it just got better for me by the
No
week,
way.
dude. And I'll tell you what, like, I think there's only one thing I didn't like about the entire series was that they kept going, hey, remember, there's going to be a third one of us.
Yeah,
And now
yeah.
they're like, oh, never mind, we'll handle that in season 2.
Yeah, that was pretty annoying.
Like, that was really annoying to me.
I think Ethan Hawke was one of the weakest parts for me, and I really like Ethan Hawke.
Interesting.
But I don't know, for some reason, his character mostly
I
didn't
liked it because it was like so reasonable. In the beginning, he was like so reasonable. Like,
he was always pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
There was something about his performance that it didn't land for me.
interesting.
Like even when he was like playing the doctor, I was
Yeah.
just like, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
But I just don't like
loved
how
all
he's
that.
being portrayed right now.
I love the perception, and it's funny. You're like, you're serious, you're funny, you're silly, you're serious, you're silly. I think that was what they were trying to portray
Because of the
because of the bipolar nature of the
like
character,
he had like
right?
a dissociative disorder.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
Like that was kind of maybe like the
Right.
the whole theme of the show.
Yeah.
But for me, it was very disjointed.
Do you feel like it wasn't? They didn't like if that was what they were going for. They didn't pull it off well enough.
Yeah, if
or
that
like
was
they
the,
didn't
if
like
that was the
show
point,
it.
and like you saying it, maybe
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
it does track, but like I didn't feel like they did it in a way that like was fun to watch. I felt like they did it in a way where it's just like, dude, this is super heart wrenching shit, and then it's just like, oh, and then silly shit's happening. Like I didn't like it. Like where he was like coming to terms with how he his dissociative disorder started with the abuse in his home and the death of his brother.
Yeah.
I was just like, Jesus, this is dark. And then it was just like, and I'm the hippo lady who's gonna take you to the fucking Undying Lands. And I was just like, what the fuck?
But I think that perfectly represents.
Yeah, sure, maybe.
That
but
sort
it
of
was
thing.
not fun to watch. Like it was really disjointed to watch. The total shifting was just like, I'm not sure if I should be laughing or crying right now, to be honest.
I love the music from it. I loved everything about this show so much. It became quickly my favorite Marvel show to date. When I finished the show, I was loved it.
There's no way.
It's my favorite Marvel show.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I liked Miss Marvel more.
That didn't come out before this.
Up until
at this point, this was my favorite Marvel show. I was just like,
no, I think maybe I like all of them. Maybe not Captain America or Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Sure,
I think maybe that's the only one that's just like maybe ran on the same part. But everything else, I like more.
Bought myself a T-shirt of this as soon as it was over with. I loved it so much. Wow. I was just like, Moon Knight. I pulled a Henry Hill. All my life, I always wanted to be a Moon Knight.
All right.
So, Moon Knight wraps up, and we're in the theaters.
Yeah.
And we're seeing Doctor Strange.
I'm so hyped for this.
We came to this fucking movie insanely hyped.
Yeah.
I came to this movie like this is going to be the best Marvel movie of all time.
Of all time, yeah, for sure.
Sam
I walked in there
Raimi?
and I was like, I don't know how they're going to pull it off, but I know that this is going to be the best fucking Marvel movie I've ever watched.
I said to myself, Sam Raimi?
Yeah.
Love. Doctor Strange, the character? He's now my favorite character. Because now
Sam
with...
Raimi, I was like, oh, please don't fuck it up.
I felt like he does this well.
That's what I was
He does
hoping
this
for.
type of thing well.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping.
Now that Tony is dead, Doctor Strange is my favorite character in this universe. And I was like, I don't know, like how, okay, so they're going to have some cool villain because obviously Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch have to hook up to defeat whatever villain. Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
Love it. And just like usual, I hadn't seen a single preview.
Sure.
Ready to rock.
I had seen some previews.
I love horror.
Yeah.
I'm ready to see this movie.
Sure.
So we sit into Doctor Strange and give me your feelings on Doctor Strange.
So Doctor Strange has a lot of flaws, and I'll talk about the flaws, but I really liked Doctor Strange. I had a fun time with it. I sat through and enjoyed the movie like it was a movie made for me.
Okay.
So it's kind of like Eternals,
sure,
in that sense for me, where like I know that the movie has a lot of flaws, but like it just felt so made for me that it was giving me everything I like about stuff.
Okay,
you know, and so like I'd say this was like high mid to low good.
Okay,
as far low top for like Marvel movies for me, where it was like just a fun fucking ride. There was a lot of Sam Raimi bullshit that I fucking ended up hating so much, but otherwise,
give me an example.
Yeah, just like all the one really big one that it's just like okay. Well, I'll give you two. The hot dog guy was really annoying.
Oh, you mean Bruce Campbell?
Yeah, Bruce Campbell, and then the fight with the fucking music notes. You know, like that was. Yeah, no thanks.
You're the only person who saw this movie that did not love that
whole
scene.
Sequence. That was
this is pure insanity.
Yeah, because it was very Sam Raimi. But anyway, so
the hand coming up. You know that how evil dead that is.
Course,
the fucking dead Doctor Strange hand, dude. I jumped out of my seat.
So when I was watching this movie, I'm just like, oh, geez, Tick is gonna fucking like this is gonna be his favorite movie of all time. But I really liked the Wanda's a bad guy stuff. I thought that was very cool.
Very well done.
Yeah. I liked watching her kind of just like not give a shit about anything except for her own personal experience. I just loved that. That it was just like, listen,
sure,
there's shit that I want, and I have gone through enough trauma, so I'm just gonna take the things I want.
Yeah.
I liked that mentality.
Sure.
And so like this to me was and I also really kind of liked that it was just like MacGuffin after MacGuffin after MacGuffin after MacGuffin because it felt like a D&D campain.
Sure.
Like that's how it felt like to me, where I was watching this movie and I was just like, this seems like I'm playing D&D. I like that about the movie. But otherwise, you know, it was structurally maybe a little weird and maybe not enough multiverse, and the scene with the Illuminati was really hard to watch and very distracting. John Krasinski was a very distracting Mr. Fantastic. Maybe America Chavez didn't have enough to do. So little complaints, but nothing big. To me, this is like a maybe 7.5, maybe 8. Just like right on the cusp of good.
Okay.
How'd you feel?
Back to back, baby. If Moon Knight was my favorite TV show, this instantly jumped into my top 5.
Marvel, huh?
Dude, I was so shocked how much I loved this movie. Yeah. And dude, I was like,
I bet you danced out of the movie.
I saw this in the theater with a friend of mine who's also a huge horror movie fan.
Sure.
And his wife hates horror movies, so she wouldn't even see this with him. Okay. And we were like, this is perfect. Like, it's in his top 5. It's in my top 5.
Yeah, that's
like,
so
it was so crazy how great this film was. I felt like Doctor Strange was able to be Doctor Strange in this film.
Yeah.
I felt like...
I liked that a lot.
Dude, I was sitting there watching this film. They get to the scene. He goes to go talk to Wanda. And he's like, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, blah, blah, blah. She's like, it's so hard to give away magic and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, cool. I'm like, how are they going to get to the team up on this? Like, what's going on? And then she's like... You didn't tell me her name, did you? And I was like, oh, yeah,
like,
okay. Oh, cool. She can read minds. That's how she knew his name. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And then she's like, oh, I'm going to drop this facade now. Yeah. I really still like magic, and I read your mind. That's how I got her name. Yeah. But now we have to go fight this demon together. Yeah. And I still didn't realize what was going on until like a couple. And then when she was like,
she's the bad.
And then when he was like, she was like, I was being nice with those or whatever. And I was like, oh my! Wait! Oh shit! She's the bad guy. Holy fuck!
I was really like that.
Oh my god, it's so brilliant. Yeah. And I was like, perfect. And then I love Wong, so Wong had a lot to do in this.
Yeah.
I love all the horror. I love like the weird way like Dead Strange moved. It was so fucking Evil Dead. Yeah. And he's fighting with the fucking cape and shit like that. And
that was very cool. That was very hard. When he had that cape made from the Dead Souls, I was like, holy shit.
I was like, this is some Sam Raimi shit, dude. I was like, man. You know what's fucking crazy too?
I just wish that he didn't have to put his stink on it, like
stamp on it. Don't stink.
Yeah, well,
stamp.
for me, it's stink. But like, because like, come up with those cool ideas, but then leave all your fucking silly shit.
No, that's Sam Raimi's touch right there, baby. Like it was just so Sam Raimi, so perfect with that. The Illuminati shit. I was sitting there again.
Did you clap?
Important.
Yeah.
Remember me? No trailers.
Yeah.
So
you had no idea this was happening.
So Baron, the only thing I had saw was like the littlest teaser. So I knew Baron Mordo was going to be in it.
Okay.
And so I thought, he's going to have to team up with Scarlet Witch because Baron Mordo is going to be a villain and this and that, blah, blah, blah. So when Baron Mordo showed up in that alternate universe, I was like, here we go. It's going to be another villain. And then I'm like, it's a good Baron Mordo. Yeah. That's fucking awesome because that's a great actor. Cool. Sure. I love to see that. And then I was like, they have their own Avengers here. Cool. Okay, cool. And I'm like, get it. Awesome. I like it. John Hamm showed up as that's his name, right? John Krasinski or whatever, right? Because John Hamm's the other guy.
Yeah.
He shows up and I'm like, oh, cool. I like that he's Mr. Fantastic. I was like, cool. We got
that was the fan cast. Like, him as Dr. or as Mr. Fantastic was like what everybody wanted. Even I wanted it because I was just like, I think he'd play that character really well. But when I watched him, I was so like,
Marvel is anti Star Wars. Yeah. They're like, what do you guys want? That. Give it to you.
Yeah,
what do you guys want for Doctor Doom? They're going to give him whatever the fans want. They're like, they're not Steve Jobs, which Star Wars is, where we know what you want. They're like, what do you want? You're going to buy it? Cool. We'll give it to you. Right? That's kind of how Marvel is. You all asked for it. You got it. Right.
I do feel like this was like let's test the waters. Let's see if they actually like it.
Exactly.
And then there was a lot of like, that was kind of weird. Yeah. And now I feel like okay, well then let's cast somebody else. Let's do somebody different.
So, Captain Marvel's on there. Black Bolt, I was like, oh shit, Black Bolt,
and the same Black Bolt from the failed TV show. Too.
I don't know that because I never watched that. But I was like, love it, and then they had then
Xavier comes out.
Dude, they hit the music. 90s, I was like,
in his 90s X-Men fucking roving yellow chair thing.
I thought I was having a seizure for a second. I was so happy. It was ridiculous, man. I was so fucking happy. Yeah, and then I liked the whole story about Doctor Strange and what happened there and stuff. It felt very Watchmen-ish, like how they had to kill him and this and that Black Bolt. And I felt, oh man, that's very Watchmen-ish. Yeah. So
I did hate how, and this has been, maybe said to death, but I really did hate how the smartest man in the universe immediately tells Scarlet Witch how to kill Black Bolt.
Yeah, I don't think they have any character like that, so they don't know anyone who can rewrite reality like that.
Yes.
So they've never faced anything of that nature. So he's trying to warn her, like, dude, come on, man. There's no way you can beat this power.
Yeah.
He's the most powerful creature. Yeah. Oh, I can rewrite reality though. Yeah. So, then she dispatches all them. I was like, next level.
Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
In the comic books is like a terrifying character.
Sure.
Like in his ability. And I really do hope that some of that translates into the MCU proper, because I really love that character.
I'm sure they'll do better.
Very unceremonious what this movie did with him.
Yeah, because
it was not his show.
Yeah,
and I get
the only thing I don't like about this. If there's one complaint I have about the entire movie here, it's this right here.
Yeah.
I felt that this version of the Avengers should have been much more of inverse of our Avengers. So it's people she has relationships with that she has to kill to to do this scene. Yeah. It doesn't matter that she kills these characters. She has no
that matters to us,
right? Exactly, because it's right. Yeah. But there's no tie. So if you would have had
Vision,
sure. A character like Vision, or a character like, they should have Tom Cruise Iron Man, and the characters that were
interacted with.
Right, yes, exactly. And there are different versions, but at least they're characters
she never met Peggy Carter.
Right, exactly. Or any of these characters, really, for the most part. I guess she met our Captain Marvel, but it's not even similar to this version of Captain Marvel, right? So I didn't like that, but everything else, and then she's got the zombie walk later, and I was just like,
she goes full blown monster movie.
Yes,
she was a terrifying fucking human being.
Loved all that. Yeah. So then, my only other complaint about the film, I really thought they should have somehow tied Vision into this alternate.
The fact that Vision had zero to do with it was very surprising.
Very, very hard for me to swallow. Not only because he's probably my second favorite character at this point, but it fitted in there. And what I thought was going to happen,
it was a part of her story.
What I thought was going to happen,
White Vision,
was not even that. You would have this alternate world, the other important Wanda, who also has powers, which was kind of weird to me because she could fly out of that fucking one space. Whatever. So in every world, Wanda has some power. Okay, whatever. I thought maybe she'd be married to Paul Bettany. Not like Vision, but Paul Bettany, the character, and he would step into that scene. I honestly thought that was what was going to happen. He was going to step into the scene and then break the what's going on with the Scarlet Witch and shit like that, and that together would overcome.
I did like it that it was the kids that did that, the fear of the kids, but because there is no more. You don't need any more than the scared reaction of your children to make you realize that you're a fucking monster.
Piece of shit, yeah.
But where the fuck was Vision? She's such a fucking important part of her story. More importantly,
the thing that finally breaks her, because the kids are what starts to break her down, and then herself going, no, they'll be loved. Yeah. That's finally what, dude. We've been telling you that for 2 hours. These kids are going to be well taken care of in this other universe. Like Wong literally says, isn't the fact that they're well taken care of by someone else good enough?
By you.
No. Yes.
Yeah, literally by you.
So that's a little weird, obviously, but you didn't
it wasn't a perfect movie, but I really liked it.
Right. It's definitely, I loved it. And then I loved, and then the extra Sam Raimi at the end, of course, because the third eye pops up. No, so Sam Raimi, man. Yeah,
because
he loves
Strange
eyeballs.
is just going crazier and crazier and crazier. So I was into it just because it's okay, cool. He's got the Darkhold now. He's fucking insane.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And then it wraps up. I think
because it's hell powers and they're not cringe.
You knew where I'm going. So, and then Charlize Theron shows up, and I was like.
Yeah.
She's
that's your favorite.
She's your
favorite. You were just I am fucking Doctor Strange.
I wonder what kind of post-credit scene they could possibly do to make this even more of a perfect movie to me. Introduce Charlize Theron to the MCU.
Yeah.
You've outdone yourself at Marvel. Out-fucking done yourself.
That's so funny. Okay, so after this, what do we got?
So after this came Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel. It took me...
I want to stop for a half a second.
What?
I'm going to sideline for half a second.
Yeah.
Because it just made me think of someone because of my number 2.
Okay.
Did you see the new poster for the next Pirates of the Caribbean movie?
No.
The
I
new
didn't know that there was another one coming.
Johnny Depp is being replaced,
Okay.
and it was confirmed.
Makes sense.
Margaret Robbie.
Margot Robbie?
Yeah.
Okay.
The poster, I honestly, as I was scrolling, was like, oh, there's a new porn Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Pirates or whatever it was called. The very famous one.
very weird to me.
Yeah.
But, I'll definitely see it.
I mean, is she just like going to be like a girl Captain Jack Sparrow?
I'm sure.
Like real idiosyncratic?
We'll see.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, I'm just...
Yeah, it's pirates.
I watched Pirates when I was like fucking 13 years old.
Yeah, I like all the pirate movies. They're not
I like
great.
the first
but-
pirate movie. And
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
the
even know
best
if I
one.
watched more pirate movies. I think maybe I watched the second one.
I like the one with the first one's the best. Then
I watched the one with the squid face guy.
that's the second one.
Okay, that's it for me. It was that one. It was the first one, and then the squid face one.
Yeah. And then there's a third one.
Because in the squid face one, his
Face.
dad, Orlando Bloom's dad, comes back.
Yes.
And he was only mentioned in the first movie.
And in the third movie, he has the final fight with the squid face with Davy Jones.
Oh, okay.
Then the fourth movie, they deal with Ian McShane as Blackbeard the pirate.
Okay.
Then the fifth movie, they basically soft remake the first movie, but with Javier Bardem as the new ghost pirate.
Okay.
He's a Spanish ghost pirate
All right.
who is kind of like, and I really
Which one's
like
the
that
one
movie.
with Calypso? There was like a giant witch lady.
Two.
No.
Yes.
No.
Because here's what happens.
No, because that's not 2. That's not 2. That's got to be like 4.
No. Calypso, she's in 2 and 3.
The character is, but
Yeah.
which one does she become? She becomes like a giant witch in the ocean, and she's like eating people and shit. Anyway, I saw a little
4.
bit of that somewhere,
Yeah.
like it was like playing
4,
somewhere,
yep.
and I was just like, "What the fuck is going on in this movie?"
They it goes off the rails.
Yeah, seems like it.
Because she brings back Barbosa in part 2.
Yeah.
And then she's around in part 3.
I do like how those movies were just like, this Johnny Depp character's being a little weird. Maybe don't have him there the whole time, but let's he's not the straight man.
Yeah.
Don't focus on it too much.
Right.
And then as soon as the first movie aired
Without
and
him.
he exploded, they were just like, oh, let's just only do let's just have every movie just be a 90%.
Didn't I ever tell you the story about this?
No, what?
Oh, yeah. So the first, when they were
Oh,
first,
I think you have.
where he was like
Yeah.
too gay, and
Yeah.
they were like, no.
They're like, don't do it.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this in this podcast.
yeah.
Where they
'Cause
were
it was
just like,
too gay,
don't have him too much.
He's
in
a little
this. It's
too
very
gay,
wild.
yeah, exactly.
And then after this, they're just like, only Jack Sparrow. please.
Only Jack Sparrow, even more,
Can we have
flamboyant.
5 Jack Sparrows?
Okay, so we hit Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts on Miss Marvel.
It took me till Miss Marvel was done to start watching it. I didn't start watching Miss Marvel until the last
interesting.
episode came out.
Yeah, I think we talked about this because I had already been watching it when we talked about it.
And so my brother watched it, and he didn't have great things to say about it. My daughter watched it, and she didn't have great things to say about it. So I was like, I'm not in any hurry. And then one day I was washing the dishes, and I was just like, I need something to watch. I think I was going to cook. And so I start watching it, and I was just like, this isn't bad. And I kept watching it, and I'm just like, this isn't bad at all. And I kept watching it, and there was some scenes, like when they go to Pakistan, where, and they meet the red scarves or whatever, where I was like, okay, this is getting a little silly. And like the clandestines weren't like very compelling villains. But I really loved like the Miss Marvel stuff, like the stuff with her family, and the stuff back home was very fun. Yeah, I didn't see it as very like heavy or interesting, but it like I liked all the like, hey, we deal with racism stuff. I liked that. And I liked her as a character. She was very endearing, Whereas, like, at first I was like, she's kind of like a little girl hero for little girls. By the end of it, I was just like, I really like how, like...
I like this hero.
Yeah, I like this hero. She's, like, endearing to watch. I like watching her want to be a hero. This is cute. And so, yeah, that was my take on it. In retrospect, watching the whole fucking thing, I just enjoyed it. It was like Hawkeye for me, know? Like it was just like a fun time. What did you think?
3 for 3, baby. I watched this.
You were like watching Babe Ruth just knock him out of the park.
like 3 home runs in a row. So I started watching this, and I was the most reluctant to watch this. I was like, get fucked,
There's
Disney,
no
with this
way
bullshit.
that this is for me.
Yes, exactly. And I watched the first episode, and I was like, okay, this is very CW-ish with how they are.
Yes, especially the first episode.
Even more importantly, a friend of mine said, he's like, he nailed it. He goes, it's not even CW, it's Disney. And I was like, yeah, of course it's Disney. He's like, no.
Yeah.
I mean Disney proper, like Hannah Montana type Disney with like notes in the background and stuff like that. So then the second episode happened, and I was like, okay, I'm going to hate this now. And now that I see this, and I was
this
like,
isn't even CW, this is Disney.
I'm like,
I like that. But
okay, cool. And I could not put my finger on what I liked so much about this show.
Yeah.
I just kept watching it. And like you point out, it gets to like the Bollywood thing going on, and like for the fucking wedding, and then they go to Pakistan and everything else. And I was just like, I love this show. I think I even talked to you. I was like, I stopped watching Obi-Wan and I'm watching Miss Marvel.
You were like, if you would have told me 10 years ago.
I would not be watching Obi-Wan and I'd be watching fucking Miss Marvel. I'd be like, go fuck yourself. The opposite is true. I'm like loving Miss Marvel. In the end, I realized it was everything about Miss Marvel that I loved. It wasn't like the villains were great or anything like that, but the family was so fucking perfect to me. And that like almost 90s style family that was put into the show, and like their quips and all this other stuff, and the racism, and like like the community banding together,
like everything that they're going through. You know, like the mom just being like, "Listen, I just don't want you to be a fucking shithead growing up," and the dad being like hurt that she doesn't want to spend time with him. Like there was so much like relatable family shit there. You know, I don't know. I really liked her.
It was one of those things where like I realized when I watched Stargirl, and I was like, I remember enjoying Stargirl, and I was like, oh wait, I'm Luke Wilson. I'm not Stargirl because I'm now the dad of the person that's doing the thing. So I'm that character. And it was similar, like you point out, like because I have a 21-year-old, and as he started to want to do his own things and stuff like that, I was like, I kind of feel the dad, you know, and whatnot. And he kind of,
are you sure you don't want to go to this with me?
Right, exactly. You know, now at 21, I realized, but when he was 15, 16, and he started to want to do his own thing, I was like, oh yeah, okay. So I love this show. I thought it was fucking awesome.
And she was a really great actress too.
Yes,
that was another big surprise for me.
Right,
like, they picked a girl who took it seriously.
Good characters, fun development of the characters and whatnot. Can't wait for more of her. You know, the fact that they tied her to the mutants. I'm indifferent to that.
Well, I mean, she was supposed to be an Inhuman, right?
Yeah,
and then Inhumans
and more importantly,
really muddled up.
They hit us with the little...
Did they?
Yes, exactly. In that scene, I'm like... All right,
I liked that, like, okay, mutants are here. Okay, it's mutants.
Yep.
I like, because it was just like, well, how are they going to bring in the mutants? They're just going to be like, oh, there's mutants.
There's mutants, right. Exactly.
And I'm like, okay, all right.
So, and to this day, I have not finished Obi-Wan.
Dude,
I still have the last
Obi-Wan,
episode.
Dude. I watched the first episode because you know how they released 2 episodes on the same night, right? I watched the first of those 2 episodes and I was like, nope, not for me, and I stopped watching it.
I watched it.
There were 2 available. I could have just watched both, and I was like, nah, I don't need any more of this.
I watched it and I was like, wow, Joel Edgerton is fucking awesome in this. Like
he's
the highlight.
He's,
Owen.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the highlight. He's like the best character in this fucking thing. And I wouldn't think I would say that about something with fucking Ewan McGregor. But I will say, as things go, there's some awesome Vader shit like later on.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I don't like Vader as a character.
Then you won't like it.
Yeah, I like. There's something about Vader that it has become so fan servicey that it's like lightsabers. I hate lightsabers. And like I have no reason to hate lightsabers. In fact, if you tell me laser sword can cut through anything, that's okay. That's the greatest thing I've ever heard. It should be in everything. It's not in everything. Right. It's in nothing but one thing, and it's the only thing in that one thing. Mm-hmm. If you watch any Star Wars property, the entire show will be about the lightsaber. And like so, like I just now I see it and I cringe. And then
now AK-47s.
What?
Andor? Yeah, in the trailer for Andor, there's a guy holding an AK-47.
That's great.
Is weird.
But like the idea that like something's been milked so hard in such a and in such a cringe way.
Right.
That's why I don't like Vader. Because like Vader has every reason to be just this cool fucking badass. And like they've just milked him. They've gone too far.
I'm so glad you feel this because I thought I was maybe going crazy because I had this argument with people online. And like we were watching Obi-Wan and I'm like, I really hate to be the asshole, so I'm going to shut up. Okay? But if you want my opinion in an opinion area, I'm going to tell you I fucking hate this because there's a scene where he's fighting Obi-Wan on like Tatooine or whatever. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like in the like, are we just going, oh yeah, I know like he has a whole speech about how when I left you, I was the learner and you were the master, aka Mustafar.
Yeah.
But we also had other fights that we forgot about in between where I beat the shit out of you because that's what happens.
I thought Obi-Wan didn't know. I guess Vader would have known. But
oh no, and in this show, everybody fucking knows who Vader is.
Oh, yeah?
Like, the sister is like, Obi-Wan, you know Darth Vader's Anakin. And you're like, wait, how the fuck does she know that it's Anakin and shit? And that's when he has like... So there's some cool PTSD shit going on with Obi-Wan. That's probably the highlight of the show.
Yeah, I saw that. Some like really remorseful shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then there's like a scene where like... There's a really cool scene of like them dueling in history and him remembering that and them dueling in the situation they're in right now and using the tricks that he, you know, like back then on him now and whatnot. Yeah. And they're, because it's like how they're using the starships and shit like that. It's very similar to how they were fighting with sabers and stuff. Yeah. And like the only problem is these scenes are interspersed with each other and they used Hayden Christensen now.
Yeah.
As Anakin.
Well, but I kind of like that because I saw some stills of Hayden Christensen like training, and I was just like, yeah, but he was supposed to be like an older guy.
No, he was not.
I don't know.
He was supposed to be like in his 20s when he became Vader.
I hate that. I hate that so much. I hate that they had to show me Anakin become Vader. They could have not ever done that, and I would have been very happy.
That's what people wanted.
The fact that they were just like, here's 20-year-old Darth Vader. I was like, come on, why do I want that? Maybe give me an early Darth Vader where he's like terrorizing the universe, but you don't have to give me a 20-year-old
Well,
Darth
more
Vader.
importantly, my Vader is, I'm in the fucking shadows and I come when shit is important and I come out and strike and do my thing.
Yeah.
Like, the cool shit, the reason why everybody fucking likes Rogue One it's because he shows up one time, chokes a dude.
Yeah.
He's never seen again until the end of the fucking movie where he shows up and beats the shit out of some dudes.
And then becomes, I don't know, very fucking...
Stop it. I'm not biting into your bullshit.
Like, when I watched that scene, I was just like, oh my God. But then...
No. That's where it should stop.
I guess.
You don't need to later then go...
Yeah,
I feel that cynicism. I feel that's that cynicism that you're like, I can't just enjoy it. I now have to overthink it.
No, because you can like snap out of what the movie's trying to fucking do to you.
And it didn't do that to you. You enjoy the whole thing, and then when you thought about it later, you didn't like it.
Yeah, it's
Get
just
fucked with that.
like okay, but then just don't use the Darth Vader. No. Let me see some other
No. I want to see Darth Vader sometimes, but that's how I want to see him like Rogue One.
Continuity. My problem is the continuity bullshit.
What continuity?
That they're like, oh, here he's super tame and super chill, and he's not throwing anything around. He's just being fucking... But like 20 minutes earlier, he was like snapping boats in half in the air and shit.
I'm not going to do it.
I don't like that.
No, I'm not going to go with that whole bullshit of like, in Rogue One, he's so powerful and he does this and that and that. And then when I watch New Hope, though, he can't move around because
barely move.
So anyways, after Miss Marvel wrapped up, we got into the theater again. And we saw Thor: Love and Thunder. Let me tell you how pumped up I was for this movie. Before this movie came out, I bought 2 different Thor: Love and Thunder shirts. I felt very similar to it one other time in my life. Before it came out, I bought a Force Awakens t-shirt.
Okay.
So I went into this film, and I'm like, okay. I loved the last one, Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok was maybe arguably one of the best Marvel movies.
Thor is one of my favorite characters at this point in time.
Yeah.
What they've done with Thor, I've really enjoyed quite a bit.
Yeah.
Love the idea of Lady Thor.
Okay.
So, I'm ready to rock.
Yeah.
You saw this movie? What'd you think?
I didn't really like it. I don't know. I don't know why, but this was like one of those like weird tone movies where, I don't know, everything was maybe too silly. The jokes were too constant. And they were also super slapsticky, and like, I guess I get it, but it's like fondant. It was like so much, and like I also didn't really like Thor much. I liked Lady Thor, like
I'm sorry,
Natalie Portman's character?
Mighty Thor.
Yeah, Natalie Portman's Thor,
because she has her Karen moment that she points out that too. Like.
Yeah, and I really liked her character. But I didn't really dig Thor. Thor in this movie was the weakest part for me.
You're talking like most of the incels now.
Yeah?
Yeah, they really hate that they've made Thor into this, like, because he's like the strong white guy with blonde hair, and now he's like the idiot that,
he's such a bumbling idiot. And like, but
so you understand incels' pain?
Well, kind of, because they also hate all the female focused stuff, and I have zero problem. I like that.
You're not an incel.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I was happy with most of the characters. It's just Thor was such a constant, dumb, slapsticky, dumb fucking thing, and like I don't know. It was like fondant. It was like, this is too sweet, and it's too much of this sweet. Because like I did laugh when like the axe hammer joke happened the first time.
Yeah,
I thought that was hysterical. That the axe was like a jealous girlfriend.
Yeah,
but by the 15th time they did this joke, I was just like, is he fucking this axe? You know, like why are you making me think that they have a relationship so much? Because at first it's just like, it's a little one-off joke, but by the end of it I was just like, oh, they love each other. Like, this is like that's his actual girlfriend, you know? And also Gore the God Butcher, I didn't super love. I really wanted to. I wanted to love the shit out of him. I wanted him to be every bit the complex, nuanced, relatable villain that they, you know, said he was in all the interviews. I wanted Christian Bale to knock it out of the park. And I feel like they either didn't give him enough to work with, but or maybe just not enough screen time or something. But it was just not really. It was not very like captivating. It was not very engaging. Sure. Like to me, it just seemed kind of. I would have loved more of him, because they really had like all the makings to make this like a really cool bad guy. In fact, maybe just let me see him butcher some guts. That would have been cool. But even just from his introduction, it was just so like, I lost my daughter, and then here's the power. You know, like it was just so very like no lead up, and then it was just the most.
It's cold open, man.
I guess, but it was the most farcical, like origin story, where it was like he got really fucked up and he lost his daughter, and then exactly who he was praying to came out of nowhere and said, "Ha ha, I don't care about you, ha ha ha," and like. That's not nuance. Like, nuance is subtext. Nuances are things that are hard to pick up on. They're things that like are
I know that you're
thematic.
I didn't mind
it. This is like knocking you on the head with it. This was like, hey, look, I'm supposed to be the bad guy.
So let me tell you, in the theater, I didn't mind this scene at all.
Sure.
You talking about it now, I think it would have been much better if he's in the desert. It's the exact same scene.
Sure.
He's in the desert. Daughter dies.
Yeah.
As he's dying, he like hears something, reaches over, and there's just a sword that magically happens to be there, and it's whispering to him, the gods have forgotten you, or whatever, and then he just grasps that sword, turns into what he becomes, and then gets up and then starts walking away with the sword or whatnot. That scene right there,
or he like stumbles as he's like looking for food, stumbles into a cave where the sword is,
or something,
or whatever.
Right, exactly.
But the fact that it was like the god that comes down and he's just like, I let your daughter die. I don't. Why knock me on the head so hard?
I hate that we're having this conversation.
Why?
Because
it just seems so over the top, and like that's what actually the whole movie felt like.
Yeah,
the whole movie felt so over the top, and like I wanted to like it, and there were a lot of parts where I was roaring. There was a lot of parts where I was like, "This is fucking hysterical," but it was so much of it that I just wanted them to fucking.
You laughed so much, you're like, "Okay, come on."
I wanted to like email Taika Waititi to be like, "Hey, next time, just slow down a bit.
Two steps left.
Yeah, just breathe. Man.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Like when I saw this movie opening weekend, 4 for 4. Yeah, Marvel was 4 for 4.
You were like, I'm at the home run derby.
Yep, I am at the home run derby. I'm Ken Griffey Jr. and it's just like ding, 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 ding. Keep on giving me Marvel because I'm here for everything.
Sure.
And even now, I want to say that I still enjoyed this movie. Watching this movie, I enjoyed it. I found God Butcher to be a fine character. Like you talking about it now, I'm like, yeah. But I feel like I could re-edit a lot of movies and make them better. So like. You know, it's one of those things where, like, but then again, like, you're like, with the normal Marvel crowd, like, me and you.
I don't know. This movie was pretty panned.
I know. It still made all the money in the world, though.
Of course, obviously.
Me
Actually,
and you-
I've read recently that like these movies are not making any less money. They're just being more criticized.
Yes. A24, that's our jam. We are on that shit.
Yeah.
So we would love a scene like we just described because that's more of a serious
Yes.
adult scene.
Yeah.
But the Marvel community, they're like, crack me up, right?
guess,
so like,
yeah.
I feel
Especially when you got somebody like Thor, who is now a comedy character, and the Guardians, who are established.
So we should
comedy
get to that
characters.
part. That whole thing, I riotly laughed.
Yeah.
That whole intro.
Oh, yeah.
He destroys everything and all that shit. And it's just,
At first, I was so down for it because it was just like, here he goes.
Yeah.
But like an hour into the movie, I was like, dude, I'm exhausted. Like, this is enough slap.
What happened
shit, man?
What happened with, why did they retcon Krog? Is that the man, the Rock Man?
Yeah.
Why did they retcon his backstory? He had a mom in Ragnarok, but he had two dads in this movie.
I mean, maybe their society has been. Oh no, are they all guys?
Yeah, they're all guys.
Yeah, I don't know. Did he have a mom?
Yeah, because he specifically talks about how he loves his mom and he wants to see his mom and this and that. Blah,
Oh,
blah,
that's
blah,
funny.
right?
I have no idea.
Very weird, but
I mean, that also could be a lot of that, like gay, the queer baiting that they're being accused of.
Yeah.
where it's just like, how like we're not going to do any gay characters, okay?
Yeah.
So don't ask for that. But we'll do a lot of like gay references if you want.
Well,
and it's
and,
just
like,
that's not just do gay characters.
it's really weird too when you're like, I thought like you're right because you're like dancing around it, right? Because first
all
it's
of
like,
it is now.
literally-
Like, I feel like dancing around it is fine,
yeah.
but
Well,
at some point,
There's a scene where they're talking.
Stop.
Valkyrie's talking about her girlfriend,
Yes.
and
No,
then
no. He's not talking about a girlfriend. He's talking about an old like person she used to fight with, who she loved,
yeah,
and there was a girlfriend.
it's definitely a woman.
I mean, yeah, but they say they were romantic.
But then in the next
That's what I'm
scene,
saying, though,
Krog talks about
dancing
two
around
dudes.
it.
Right,
Yeah.
I know. And it's just like, you're right. They're not brave enough to go, okay, we're going to make Moon Knight a homosexual.
No, yeah.
But they're like...
I mean, because like America Chavez's moms
yes.
were gay.
Right, clearly, yeah.
Was that enough for you
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah.
Like...
Pandering almost, like,
it just feels like they're like, we'll give you all the like scraps, but don't
Sure.
ask for anything serious, please.
Sure. So, overall, I thought this movie was a lot of fun. It was a lot of laughs. I love Heimdall. So Heimdall's son being in it and being something that's important was like super awesome to me.
Yeah.
The kid power scene was straight out of Shazam.
yeah.
And I was like,
very
as
silly.
I was watching it, I was like, this literally happened in Shazam because Shazam hands the powers to the other kids, and now they help defeat him.
Yeah.
I thought the stuff
I didn't
with
super dislike the idea that Thor could lend his power through Mjolnir.
sure,
Because that's kind of what Odin did.
it's fine. Yep,
So, like, I was like, okay,
sure.
all right. I wasn't super... It was kind of like...
I thought it'd be cool
It
if
was a little bit of a Disney cringe fest.
Sure.
But it's also like, okay.
You've already gone this far
Yes.
with the jokes, so let's just keep them
Let's
coming.
let's do it.
And like we saw this with my kid. I took my kid to see this. My 6-year-old, he loved the
He
movie.
fucking loved
so
it.
right,
Yeah, for
And
sure.
like he laughed a lot, you know. Although like it's so funny to like as an adult go because my kid's laughing at like one of the scenes in like with
When your kid laughed, did you look at him and go, hey, don't be psychotic?
no, we're together. So it's fine.
okay, yeah.
So he laughed at like one of the scenes in the auditorium or whatever, like when they were talking to Zeus.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like some slapstick scene or whatever, and he laughed, and
Yeah.
we all laughed or whatever. Then they made the joke about the orgy, and Valkyrie's like, "Oh wait, no, I'll be here for that or whatever, right?"
yeah.
And I laughed at that, and the guy next to us laughed,
Yeah.
and so then my son, of course, wanted to laugh, so he laughed afterward. But it's funny
And
because
you
he
looked
had
at him and
no
you're
one.
like, hey, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So do
I
not
was
laugh
thinking to
at
myself, like, he's laughing because his dad's
Yeah,
laughing or whatever. But
that's
like,
cute,
yeah.
though.
So,
That's cute.
so then, like, you know, I thought like the end of it and everything was nice. Like, you know,
I did like the scene at the end.
Sure.
Where, like, they're in that negative space with, like, the origin of time
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
I thought that was...
Yeah, that was a good scene.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I didn't like the... Thor has a little daughter now.
Yeah, no.
Shit. Afterwards,
Really?
I was just like, oh,
I
my
loved
God.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they're like, dude, it was so like, and
you know who his daughter reminded me of?
Who?
Leia from Obi-Wan.
Oof, except for not terrible.
To me, it was the exact same character, just like a wisecracking, too smart for her own good little girl.
Yeah,
I
but
hate that
But
character.
that's perfectly fine if it's only 1 minute. It's
If you
not
give
fine
me
if it's
literally 60 seconds,
Right, if
that's
it's
the most I can
5
tell her.
episodes. Get fucked.
Yeah.
But like 1 minute,
Dude, but
and
that's
then,
what I'm telling you. When I watched
like,
Obi-Wan, when I watched Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
I needed one scene with that wisecracking, too smart for her own good baby Leia for me to be like, this is not for me.
Yeah,
I don't like
exactly.
this.
I hear
and
you.
a lot of people were just like, but that's what Leia's
Dude.
like. And I'm like, dude, you don't have to show an adult as a child.
Yes.
Because generally, children are learning to be adults.
Correct.
So, like, it's okay that she's not adult Leia.
More
as a
importantly,
kid.
spunk is one thing. Being a wisecracking asshole, as a parent, you have a responsibility to stop them from doing
for
that.
sure.
So, like, I just know she has bad parents on top of everything else.
And I like how they were all just like, oh, well, we're just very
We've spent way too much time on that piece of shit show. So,
but anyway,
Thor ends and like I agree. Like I don't know. I loved that scene at the end. I thought that was really cute. And then that's when the title hits or whatever. You know, to great '80s music again. He's really good with his music picks in my opinion. Because earlier they had the Welcome to the Jungle. I thought was really well done in that montage of a scene. And then
it definitely seemed very like they took Ragnarok and then went Control Copy.
Yeah.
And then they put it into a new
few
window
more jokes?
and then they went Control Paste, and then that was here we go.
And the control paste, 3 more jokes per scene.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they
It
had
was Control Paste, Control Paste, Control Paste.
They had the post-credit scene with Hercules, which was really weird to me. But like, I'm like,
I guess he's like a character now.
He was a character in the comics. It looked just like that, which really shocked me that they would keep him just like that. Because, well, who knows? We'll see what goes on with that. Now,
if there's ever a fucking Thor 4.
At this point, I got up and left.
Oh, this was Thor 4.
Yes.
If there's ever Thor 5. Thor 5?
I heard there's a post-credit scene. Did you see it?
What is it?
It's Jane entering.
Oh yeah, entering Valheim.
And Heimdall is there.
Valheim?
Valhalla.
Valhalla, yeah. And Heimdall's there. And he greets her.
I am so fucking pissed. I almost went back. When someone told me about that, I almost went to pay for it again to see that fucking scene.
Yeah. She like materializes into Valhalla. Valhalla looks kind of like. I
don't want to hear anything else. I'll see it when I see it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's a touching scene.
I bet it was, and I'm very upset that I did not see that scene. So I will see that soon, within a few days when it's on Disney Plus.
Sure. Yeah.
So
that's it.
That's it for that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about preview for what we're talking in the future here.
Coming up, yeah. So we got She-Hulk coming out.
What do you think of the... you've seen a trailer for She-Hulk, I'm sure?
Yeah, so the first trailer for She-Hulk made it look like dog shit.
Yes.
Like, I watched that trailer and I was like, oh, I don't want to watch this at all. It just looks so bad. And then I watched the new trailer for it, and I was just like...
With the Hulk involved.
What?
The Hulk's involved. So we've now see that that Bruce Banner is in it.
Well, but he was in the first trailer, too.
Oh, not the trailer I saw. I must have saw a teaser. Then.
Yeah, so in the first trailer, he was kind of in there, kind of adjacent. He definitely looks like he's got a bigger role, but that's not what made me like the show more. Now I just feel like I have a greater context for what the show is going to be. And so, and greater context for who she is. And there's something about that just seemed more Marvel to me.
Sure.
And because it felt very disjointed, the first trailer that I saw. But this second trailer made it look pretty cool, and looks like Daredevil's going to be in it. So I'm pretty excited for Charlie Cox again.
Yeah,
a little lawyer drama with superheroes. Okay, I'm into it.
I like
Show
that
it to me.
idea.
Yeah, I've been watching Better Call Saul. It's the best show on television. So
I've watched
like
many
that.
Law and Order episodes.
Yeah, I mean, if it's anywhere between Law and Order and Better Call Saul, I'll be all
with
right
Green,
with a She-Hulk.
Yeah, and the fact that I don't know who the villain is going to be yet. I know Abomination's going to be in it. But I'm sure he's not going to be the main villain.
No, but she's like representing him as like a person.
So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I really like the idea. I feel like now, like Miss Marvel. Like I have no. I wanted to point out one thing.
Give it to me.
If I could rewrite history a little bit, Eternals would be a show.
Yeah.
Loki would be a movie.
Yeah.
And similarly,
if Eternals was a show,
so nice. Miss Marvel would be a show. And Thor: Love and Thunder would be
backwards. Yeah,
backwards. Sure. Yeah. Right? Because I thought Miss Marvel could be perfect as a movie.
Yeah,
and Thor would have been a little bit cooler if things were flushed out a little bit more.
If it wasn't less than 2 hours,
dude. The fact that
they were fucking speeding through that.
I felt they rushed the Jane stuff way too much.
They rushed the Jane stuff and the Gore the God Butcher stuff.
That's my point. Yeah, right. Those two characters, they had because I was thinking to myself, like, we see Jane. Next thing, she has cancer. Next thing, she's cured and she's like Mighty Thor.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, this happened in 20 minutes, right? Like, come on, dude.
It was
more.
like a cumulative 8 minutes of screen time when that all happened.
Right.
That was
weird, really weird. So that could have easily been swapped.
But boy, did they have jokes. It was 8 minutes of screen time for Jane Foster's Thor, and in between that, it was like 35 minutes of like silly slapstick jokes.
Yes,
it's like cut some of your jokes out, man.
A few jokes could have been cut easily. Yeah. So, I want to say I'm cool with Hulk. You know, She-Hulk. I'm definitely anxious to see what they got for me next week. In fact, it comes out.
Yeah, it's coming out.
And then I did what I never, ever do.
You watch the trailer for your Black Panther.
People know me as the non-trailer guy when it comes to this.
Yeah.
Heard the Black Panther trailer drop.
Yeah. The Comic-Con one. Yeah.
Yes, Comic-Con one.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I'm going to do something I don't do. Mm-hmm. Time to watch a trailer. Mm-hmm. Watch the trailer for Black Panther. Mm-hmm. Super interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Are you excited? No.
There's only one movie I'm more excited for the rest of the year.
Okay. What is that?
And you know what that one is. We'll be podcasting about it around Halloween.
What?
Halloween Ends.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, like, I saw Red Band.
Because it's the end of the trilogy? I doubt
it. For 5 years. So.
Yeah, exactly. They're just going to be like,
when it makes tons of money again. Yeah. Sure. I went to go see Black Phone a couple weeks ago, which was fucking phenomenal. And this ties into what we're talking about, too, because actually, the director of Doctor Strange.
Sam Raimi?
Had a fight. No. The director of Doctor Strange.
Oh, okay.
Was supposed to do Doctor Strange 2. Ugh. Got in a fight with Marvel.
Yeah.
And was like, I want it dark. He wanted it darker than what Raimi did.
Yeah. They
were like, well, we don't do that.
Yeah.
So he was like, cool, I quit and went to go make Black Phone.
Oh, interesting.
And he made Black Phone, yep. Yeah. So, and Black Phone was fucking awesome. I loved it. It's one of my top 5 this year. So it was very, very good. Way different than what I expected.
Sure.
And way better than what I expected too. Yeah. Because I thought it was going to be like a cheesy, shitty horror movie, really, to be honest.
That's what I expected.
Yeah, it was definitely not. Like Sinister or something like that. It definitely was not. So Black Panther, I feel like I was really worried what was going to happen here with this movie.
Okay.
And now I'm less worried what's going to happen here with this movie.
I'm not worried at all. I cannot fucking wait.
It feels like it's going to be... The only worry I have at this point is it might almost be too much of a tribute to...
Where like the whole time they're just
Chadwick
knocking
Boseman.
you over the head how much they fucking love Chadwick Boseman.
And we all love Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. And as a person, he was...
I don't want it to be the movie version...
A funeral.
...of the Marvel What If episode with Chadwick Boseman, where he can do no wrong, and he's just the fucking perfect... He's a goddamn angel who is like literally...
Who made Thor a good... Or Thanos a good guy.
Literally, Thanos was just like, what can I do for you, Mr. Black Panther? Yeah. Like, I was just like, dude...
Stop it.
This is too much.
I don't think
you overcorrected too hard.
And I think they're going to do a good job. And here's my...
I do think that we're still going to get a T'Challa Black Panther, though.
Here's what my theory is.
I think that there's going to be a multiverse T'Challa coming in.
Oh, you are so close to what my theory is for this movie. So we get that scene where a Black Panther is fighting against one of the Dojamari.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, right? But did you look at the color of the metal parts on his suit?
They're like gold?
Gold.
Yeah.
So here's my theory is...
He's Killmonger.
The other version of Black Panther in another universe, Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger.
No, I hope not.
So Michael B. Jordan is Black Panther in another universe.
Yeah.
And he's going to be like jacked into this universe.
Yeah,
right?
Somehow.
Right. And that's why they're fighting against him. Like, you're Killmonger, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what he looks like to them or whatnot. And there's going to be a problem there. And then he's going to do something to help this side's Black Panther and then go back off to his own universe.
I don't know. I do think that there's going to be a T'Challa in the Marvel universe moving forward.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a Black Panther, yes.
No. Okay. I mean, obviously there's going to be a Black Panther, but I do think there's going to be a T'Challa.
I don't think
I do think that they're going to recast him, but I don't think that it's going to be Chadwick Boseman's.
They've already said they're not going to.
They already said they weren't going to recast that T'Challa.
Yeah.
It's not like it's going to be hi, I'm Black Panther. I think that they're going to bring in one from a different universe.
No.
I think so.
That is like them going, we're not going to recast him. Asterisk.
Yeah, that's what I think it's going to be. I think they're going to pull one over on us.
So I don't think that's going to happen only because of the situation. If this was an actor who walked away, like Ed Norton or something like that.
I feel like the reason that they're going to do it is because T'Challa, and rightly so, is too important of a character to just be done with. I think that I also think that they don't want to step on the legacy of Chadwick Boseman, so that's why I feel like they're going to bring it in, but they're going to bring it in a different way, and it's going to be like we didn't recast him. Asterisk. That's what I think it is.
No, I honestly feel like
that's my.
Well, you got your theory. You have your theory of a new T'Challa. Yeah. I have my theory of alternate Killmonger as Black Panther.
But then he goes back.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
If he stays,
if they bring him, he stays. That's what I think.
Yeah, as Eric T'Challa or whatever.
But that's so wild. That's why I don't think that it'll be Killmonger.
But everybody wants that.
I think I don't know.
That's like John Hamm as.
They just can't get rid of T'Challa. Because he's too important. In the Marvel universe,
I don't agree,
just
man.
In like big time, he's a big time guy.
He is, but that doesn't mean you can't move past him in another Black Panther.
It's not like Sabretooth.
So is Steve. Wait a second. Steve Rogers is a big time guy.
Well, yeah, but he had his time. T'Challa didn't have his time.
He's still doing the thing in comic books. Steve Rogers is still doing his thing, and now in the movies they've moved on to Falcon as Captain America.
I guess. Yeah. Okay. Well,
so they've already laid the idea that they can do it.
For something like that. Yeah.
Now, of course, Captain America's had a lot more movies than T'Challa did.
A ton more movies.
Because T'Challa had 3.
And Steve Rogers had 10 years worth of movies.
Agreed.
But fucking 15 movies.
You can't help the fact that the guy passed away. And you have to deal with that somehow. You have to have a Black Panther character,
I just
clearly.
think that's such a big thing to do. It's just like, hey, Black people, you know how you have one really important character?
Yeah.
Well, he's dead. And that's it.
I don't think a single Black person would be upset.
But there's a lot of there's tons of.
I don't think a single Black person would be upset if you had alternate version Killmonger as Black Panther.
Well, I mean, no, I guess not. But that would be. I feel like that's Plan B. I feel like Plan A is still have T'Challa somehow, and not have it be Killmonger.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Anyway, but that movie I'm excited for Namor, baby.
Oh,
I've never been more excited for something, man.
Namor. Remember
good too.
When I showed you that picture, I was like, I hope they do this better than this, and you were like, fuck you and everything else, right? Yeah. And then I saw him in the preview, and I was like, I was right. They did it much better than what I expected.
He doesn't look like a cartoon.
Right, he doesn't look like a clown, right?
Yeah, but he looks so badass.
Yeah, he looks pretty cool, man. I gotta admit. Like overall, everything about the trailer was like good, and now I'm good. I'm not gonna watch another trailer. Yeah. I'm sure they're going to dump more.
Yeah.
It ain't going to be something I saw. Yeah. Like, it's just like when I saw the red band.
I really don't need to have any more hype. Like, I'm like what I was going into the second Doctor Strange movie or the fourth Thor movie. I am already at peak hype. I don't need any more hype than this.
It's like the red band of Halloween Ends, bro. We saw it, and I went, yep, exactly what I want. Don't give me any more trailers.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm done with you.
That's enough. If I need another trailer, I'll just watch this again.
They've hit everything I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Check the box.
Yeah.
Opening night, you'll see me in the theater.
But you know that this is just a teaser.
Of course.
And there will be a full-length trailer. So.
Not one I'm going to watch.
Yeah.
So I've seen enough. And you can't see this, but I just buckled my seatbelt. I am all in on Marvel at this point.
Yeah.
We have switched positions a bit here over the 2 years of Marvel.
I'm still enjoying it. I feel like I'm just a little bit more fatigued than you are.
Yes.
Or maybe you were just earlier fatigued and got through it, and I'm just hitting the fatigue now, you know?
Yeah. That's possible, too. And, like, by this time next year, you're going to be like... But then you might not want to listen to this cast anymore, people, because you're going to be like, these are just two people sucking off Marvel.
Yeah, two guys just hard dick riding Marvel every single episode.
Right. I'll promise you, I'll probably be over my Marvel love within the next few months.
We'll debate. We'll go back.
At some point in time, I've already seen like the what's coming up, and I'm like... Ant-Man is the next thing.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be big role for Ant-Man coming up. He's going to have
He's introducing the new fucking phase, man.
Yeah.
I have no faith in that.
Well, whatever. I have full faith.
You know what's so funny is like...
that I enjoy.
And I love the last Ant-Man movie.
Yeah. I just love how like every time you have this like insane trepidation and then you're just like Ken Graffiti and you're knocking them out of the park. All right.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, guys. Well, it was nice being back. Maybe we'll do more of these.
More will be coming.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I mean, at minimum, you will get a Halloween episode.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe
you'll get Halloween specials. So look for things in October because we'll do our usual thing where we do one scary movie and we have to review Halloween Ends for the Patreon. So
maybe I didn't want to do the podcast anymore because I was just done watching horror movies.
He's going to get scared again, people.